that's it.
All you wanted to know were the times. I called Barbara just for the time.
Right.
That's all. That's nothing like
Yeah.
that. It's not meeting-y.
45 days for the appointment.
Right.
I see the red dot from when I'm sitting
I
there.
know. Okay, my dear.
Okay, well, welcome to our appointment subcommittee meeting. We're starting at 5:38 on March 2nd. I'm having some issues with my agenda packet here. So it goes. Thank you. So we have 3 appointments to consider today. First one is Catherine Hobbs for the Manhan Rail Trail Committee, Tricia Rogers for the Board of Health, and John Casey Douglas for the Economic Development and Industrial Committee. So I'd like to start with discussing the appointment of Catherine Hobbs for the Manhan Rail Trail Committee, and see if anyone has any comments or discussion about her appointment.
I have nothing to add except that I think that we should go forward with a recommendation from the mayor. Anybody who wants to serve on the Manhattan Rail Trail Committee is...
She said she uses it, so
Yeah.
it sounds like she's
Yeah.
familiar with it.
I know, Mayor, I know you had talked to Barb. Go ahead.
Right. I just wanted to, if it's okay if I speak. We interviewed Catherine Hobbs with Barbara, because Barbara's very involved with the Rail Trail Committee, so I wanted to make sure she was part of that, and she was very happy with the applicant and the application. Just so you would know that it wasn't just me.
Well, I see no problems with appointing Catherine Hobbs, so I'll make a motion to bring her name forth to the full city council tonight.
Second it.
Okay. Joe, I didn't realize we'd be matching today. I should have consulted. Okay. So having had a motion and a second, I'd like to move forth to take a vote. So all in favor of moving Catherine Hobbs' appointment to the full city council?
Aye.
Aye. Nay. And no abstentions. The second appointment that we're going to be discussing tonight is Tricia Rogers, keep saying Roberts, for the Board of Health with a term expiration of 12/31/17. And I'd like to open that for discussion. Joy?
Yeah, thank you. As we have 45 days to make that appointment, which brings us out to the next meeting for March 16th, I would ask that we consider holding off that appointment until the March 16th meeting so that we can have Tricia come in and speak to us. I think that because it's such a controversial appointment and it's very high,
Pretty independent board, too.
it's very independent and it's very high profile in a lot of ways at times, and so I would really like to just talk to her and meet her and get a little feel for her. So I would ask that the chair consider having our next meeting on the 16th so that she doesn't have to come out twice, but have it like at maybe 5:15. And ask her to come to our meeting, and then she can stay for our council meeting, so that if any of the councilors have any questions of her, then she'll already be here. So I would ask that we delay that vote until the 16th.
I can certainly appreciate that reasoning and would agree with you. Do we need to take a vote on that if we're delaying it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion then to not prolong. Delay, there you go. The appointment of Tricia Rogers to Board of Health to the, what's the next meeting? March 16th meeting.
Second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No abstentions or nays. And then the third appointment we have tonight is John Casey Douglas for the EDIC Board, Economic Development and Industrial Committee, with a term expiration on 12/31/18. So I wanted to open up his appointment for discussion. Yes?
I think Casey's absolutely appropriate for that board. He's very involved with the city. He's got a business going right now that's quite successful. He lives in the city. He's always there for helping out and whatever, offering his help to the community. So I think it's a good appointment.
Yep. I second that.
I think one of the things that I really respect about him as a person who's working within the city was that he was willing to expand his view on the liquor license issue as circumstances changed. And I just, a lot of work is all about negotiation and looking at each side of an issue and determining whether or not your views can grow. And he's really accomplished that as far as I can see. So for that reason, I think he would be a really good addition to that board.
I make the motion that we appoint Casey Douglas to the Economic and Development Industrial Commission.
I'll second that.
Okay, having a motion and a second, I would like to take a formal vote. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And no abstentions or nays. So we'll go ahead and move John Casey Douglas's appointment forward to the full city council.
Okay. I guess
And-
a lot.
Go ahead.
Well, so busy. I know I emailed you guys a revised version. Did you guys just look at? I don't know. Is it recoverable that it's ready to send to whoever wants it? Is it rules and regulation that wants it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see it.
It's nice of you to do that while you're
Wait.
in your little hiatus.
Actually, who also helped me was Jane. I sent it to her. I sent it to her for just editing, and it came back like much better than I sent it to her. So I was like,
That's always
You know,
you.
there's some people in this world that really are good at writing things. Yeah.
No, I had a chance to look over what you had written as well, and I concur that it was a fine description for what a committee does, and I think it helps with the difference between city council appointments versus mayoral appointments, which I think is really good to be able to lay it right out in our mission.
and the fact that some of significant appointments are ours, like the
Right.
auditor, city clerk, etc.
Right. So do you have anything else that you would want to include in there?
No, I thought he touched on everything. I thought it was really good. I think we should move forward to just submitting it to Rules and Government Relations, and so that they can.
Okay.
There's just one question. Did you do Barbara's appointment and Marion's?
Oh, I know we haven't. Forgot
No.
about that.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't.
I had forgotten it.
You
Yeah.
got it? I'll meet you upstairs.
Okay.
You don't have any questions for me or anything? Okay.
No.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to have that. Do I need to make a motion if it's to another subcommittee versus the entire city council?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Just that
Okay,
we'll
so I'll
send it.
make a motion to move the written description of the duties of the appointment subcommittee to rules and regulations.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, and our last order of business is
You
the...
got to vote on it though. You gotta-
Okay, all right. Okay, having a motion on the table that's been seconded, I'd like to call a vote for moving the written description to rules and regulations.
Second.
So all in,
Yeah, we already did that.
all in favor?
Aye.
No abstentions or nays, so we'll go ahead with that motion. And the last order of business is that we have Barbara Bombard.
Bombard.
Gosh, I really have to practice that last name.
Bombard.
Bombard and Marianne Giza who is going to, oh, let me back up for a second. Barbara is our city clerk, and this is for renewal of her appointment. And it's written in our charter that the city clerk can also apply to have the assistant city clerk renewed at the same time, which is why these two names are together. So I know, opening up the discussion, I know that I've gotten to know Mary Ann a little bit better over this last year, particularly when Barb had to go out for surgery. And I don't know if it was this last year or within this last 2-year span, but I've really seen Mary Ann grow in her role as being the note taker at the city council level. And I know that that's not so much the same thing as the city clerk, but seeing her in a work, you know, with the same level of professionalism, I certainly have had firsthand experience working with Mary Ann in addition to Barbara Lombard's recommendation. So I wanted to see if anyone had any additional discussion about either Barbara or Mary Ann as candidates.
The only discussion I want to add is Barbara's been city clerk long before we ever became a city, working under Phil Campbell, and she was taught very well. She's more than adept at what she does. She's organized, and she just fell right into the place of being our city clerk to the city council. Keeps us all on our toes and make sure that we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing legally and otherwise. And Mary Ann has been right by her side through the whole transition. Mary Ann's been there also as long as when we were a select board with the town meeting. So I absolutely want to continue the relationship. The day that Barbara does retire is going to be a very difficult day for us because we're going to have a very difficult time replacing her. So.
I think, you know, she's very much, I think she may be even head of the Massachusetts City Clerk Organization.
She's part of it, yes. Yeah. She's big in it, yep.
She's, and I think, I don't know if you've had that experience yet, for first-time city councilors, her knowledge base is invaluable, you know, and she's so approachable and helpful and...
Yeah, all of it, yep. She's the package. So, I move that we appoint Barbara Lombard and Mary Ann Giza to the city clerk and assistant city clerk positions.
Okay.
Second that.
Okay, having a motion on this and a second on the floor, I'd like to call to vote the nomination of the appointment of Barbara Lombard and Mary Ann Giza for a 3-year term as the city clerk and assistant city clerk.
So,
to the full council.
right, so aye.
No.
All in favor? Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. No abstains? No nays?
No?
Okay. Well, I don't have any other business for appointments tonight.
Are we going to have our next meeting at 5:15 or 5 on the 16th?
And who wants to reach out to Rogers?
I can reach out.
Okay. And explain to her, because I know because she talked to Karen, she may say,
Yeah.
well, I already talked to Karen.
Don't
just,
let her get nervous.
Or just let her know that, you know, well, Karen is executive branch, we're the legislative branch, so
Right.
we're separate, so that's why we're just,
Yeah.
Will do.
and then she can stay
Okay.
afterwards.
Okay.
All right.
I move that we
Adjourn?
adjourn. Thank you.
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No abstentions, no names?
I'm trying to become like paperless, but it's not easy.
Yeah, no,
I tell you.
gotta be
I just couldn't keep
agenda.
up with this thing. It's like, oh, I have to write it.
Did you get my,
Did you turn that off?
email about putting forth a motion tonight?
No, I don't think so. I mean,